Good morning, this is Shades of Green radio show on KDWN 720 AM in Las Vegas. Our show is produced by Green Alliance and sponsored by NV Energy, and I'm your host, Paul Ira. Today in studio we have Shawn Brown and Tiffany Young from Sierra LLC, heating and air conditioning company, as well as the now famous Stan Hannell.
Wow.
And Annette Lubeck is recording us for Facebook Live. So for our Facebook Live watchers, please, if you got any questions, send them in there so Annette can get them over to us and we'll answer them for you. And our listeners, if you'd like to call in with questions for Shawn, Tiffany, or Stan, or myself, 702-257-5396. That's 702-257-KDWN. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
So Shawn and Tiffany, tell us a little bit about yourselves and your company, and how is it you got into this HVAC business, and are you green?
We're saving power as much as possible. I actually got into this industry about 13 years ago. Started as a family business with my parents, and I've just stuck with it. I enjoy it. Helping keeping people comfortable and staying cool, and I get to drive around and meet new people all day long, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This is actually my first job in HVAC. I've done marketing for the last 10 years, but I knew when I moved to Las Vegas that I wanted to get a career in a high-demand industry that was never going to shut down, so HVAC was a good choice.
Yeah.
Well, in Vegas, that would be, air conditioning, clown supplies, and food. So
Exactly.
So tell us, you're in the marketing side of the business,
I
right?
am.
You are. And Shawn, what do you do? Besides drive around and meet new people.
Right. I'm a comfort advisor, so I actually drive around and meet new people, take a look at their systems, see what they can do to upgrade their systems to something that's more efficient, today's standards, something to help them stay more comfortable and save power on their electric bill.
How long has your company been in business?
We've been around for about 30 years now.
Wow. And how they learn to cope with the hot summers here in the Mojave Desert?
It's, drink lots of water, stay hydrated as much as possible, stay in the shade when you can. We do have to take breaks during the day, especially, working on the sunny side of the house or working in attics, but it's one of those where, ice cold water definitely helps, and taking breaks to cool off.
Tell us about inspections of homes and estimates. How do you handle that?
So anytime we're doing a replacement or an upgrade of a old air conditioning system, we've got to pull permits. It's going to be inspected by the city to make sure it's done properly, correctly, up to code and safety requirements. We pull the permits. We schedule to have the inspector come out and double check basically our work. It's not that we don't do a good job. It's just that a third set of eyes never hurt anybody. We just want to make sure that everything's safe and done correctly for the homeowner at the end of the day.
Sure. And what do you look for when you come into the home?
Leaky ductwork, thermostats not set in the right location, filters that are extremely dirty. Those can all be things that are really working against the system that can actually drive your electric bill up. Hot or cold spots, rooms that don't seem to be even like the rest of the house. We try to take those into consideration as well, because if you've got to compensate on one of the guest rooms to keep it comfortable, that means the unit's got to work and run longer to cool that room down when the other rooms are already comfortable. So we try to even everything out and make sure the whole house is one even temperature, cut down on power usage.
What type of instrumentation? Do you have like a thermal imaging camera or a temperature sensor?
Yeah, we do have thermal imaging cameras, so we can actually look around on the walls, on the ductwork, on the systems, and if need be, if it comes down to it, you can actually see air leaks, cooling and heating air leaks to help chase down efficiency problems and comfort issues. So it's definitely things that we take into consideration.
Yeah, and those thermal imaging cameras, you have different colors that represent different temperatures.
Exactly,
Right when you're looking at it. That's amazing, yeah.
And what kind of things, do you find much thermal imaging problems with walls and windows?
Windows are a big one. They're not always, the older ones, the seals start to wear out. A lot of the older ones are aluminum framing with the rubber sealers, and the rubber sealers will start to dry out. And then you leak the air out that's inside the window out, so then you get heat transfer a lot easier, and that window's not as insulated as it was on day one. So that's a big factor. We got to take that into consideration. Single pane and dual pane is a huge consideration as well. Of course, the dual pane is going to keep more of that heat out, and that single pane is going to let a lot of that heat come through from the sun. So all that's taken into consideration, where the windows are located on the house, the direction of the house facing. That's all going to change the size of the system needed for the home, And if we can size the home for the system that's needed, because if you oversize the system, you're going to use more power than need be. And if you go too small, then you're not going to be able to keep it comfortable. So we want to make sure that's right in that sweet spot where we're going to be able to keep it comfortable and efficient at the same time.
So you have a little engineering background in you then.
We do, yes. We all do.
That design work takes a lot of math. I've seen a lot of difference in my home since I've had the work done. Tell us about filter maintenance. How often should a filter be changed? Is there a time frame? People always say, "Well, I change it every 6 months or
6 months, 3
every
months."
time I get a new child, I get a new filter."
There you go. I haven't heard that one yet, but that's not
That's
ideal.
about how often a lot of people change them. They forget about that. So I know it's important. So tell us about filters.
Yeah, so there's different types of filters. We have some filters that can last up to a year. We have some filters that last 6 months. We have filters that last a month. It really depends on the application of the filter and the lifestyle of the home. I mean, if we've got golden retrievers that like to shed and kids that are running in and out all day long, and you're running that system 24/7, that filter is going to be toast in a couple weeks to a month. If you've got a low traffic home where you don't have kids, you don't have pets, you can get a little bit of extra time out of the filter. The filters that a lot of the homeowners are going to are they're now 4 inches thick instead of 1 inch thick. So you have a lot more surface area. So the filter actually lasts longer, and it's actually less stress on the system as well because it's allowing more airflow through the filter itself.
Yes, air conditioning's all about airflow, isn't it?
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you don't have airflow, you're not having air conditioning. So
Yeah, if we can't get the air in, we can't get it out.
that's right. All right, well, we'll talk about this some more when we come back to Shades of Green on KDWN. We'll be right back.